And then there was one.
I've been reading a lot this week in preparation for NYCCC.
Doubt it.
The Hickman run of House of X, the 6-issue series, obviously the last one, number 6, came out Wednesday. It's awesome as heck and solidified my following his writing, this X-Men and the Dawn of X for sure. I'm going to be picking that up this fall. It's just reinvigorated the mutant kind. Without spoiling too much, all the mutants have come together to create an island called Krakoa, where it's a mutant sovereign nation, and it's their sanctuary. It's a living island, sort of like the Savage Land, only it's literally a living island where only mutants are allowed to go, and Professor X, Magneto, Apocalypse are sort of like the head, along with the other factions of the X-Men, Emma Frost, the Hellfire Club. All the villains, heroes, good, bad, evil, are together. They create their own laws. They do trials against people who break the laws. And they pretty much said, humankind, you are not allowed to do anything to us, or it is a full-out war. And it really ended on a cool spot, because it's almost like seeing Martin Luther King Jr. as Professor X, Malcolm X just come together and go against everybody, rather than having the same ideals but doing it different ways, joining together along with Apocalypse. Sabretooth, Mystique, all the X-Men, everyone is a mutant on this island, pretty much running things as it goes.
And you had mentioned there was like, maybe I would call it like a peace offering almost.
Yeah, at the end, it's building up to this. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's creating the Sentinels. The X-Men have to go on a mission to stop the Sentinels. No spoilers, but some of them don't make it, and then you find out later that they're okay, and then mutants have everything going on, and there's not really a chance of these characters dying. So they offer humankind a peace offering. We will give you the cures to these diseases as long as you grant us our sovereign nation, our sovereignty, and don't mess with us anymore. Stay off our island. We don't want to be part of your human race, and we don't want you part of our mutant race. We'll take our little piece of your world and just leave us alone. So the way that it ended, it seems like the humans have no choice, but they're just going to go along with it. Now that the X-Men have destroyed the main Sentinel, the mother Sentinel that creates all the other Sentinels in a big space battle they have, destroyed the Mother Mold Sentinel. So now sort of humans last.
Is that kind of like with vinegar? There's like the mother that makes more vinegar.
Oh, you're thinking of apple cider vinegar,
Yeah.
kombucha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the mother
just
is.
like that.
Just
Okay.
like a human mother or an animal mother that creates
Yeah.
everything. That's why they call it the Mother Sentinel, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was dope. Yeah, it's great. Art's great. I mean, X-Men have been getting kind of tired. These movies haven't really been doing it for me. I've heard that Hickman's run and story ideas are what's going to go into the MCU, and I like it because it's not a Wolverine book. Wolverine literally says one line maybe every issue. He's barely in it. It's really about Professor X, Magneto, Jean Grey, Cyclops is a big part of it. The Fantastic Four show up, which is an interesting confrontation because the Fantastic Four obviously aren't mutants, but their son, Franklin Richard, is. He was just born with more powers than all of them combined from their space failure mission where they got their powers. So Cyclops sort of backhandedly says, we'll be seeing you guys later. Tell your son Franklin his family's waiting for him whenever he wants to join the mutants. And it's just sort of like a backhanded thing, like, you guys can't touch us. We're pretty much on our own. I thought it was awesome. I can't wait for the new X-Men to come out. Jonathan Hickman's amazing. I don't know. So without spoiling everything, I mean, you can ask me questions, but...
So what's Cyclops' part in this? Like, I just remember in the old X-Men cartoons, he was always like the squadron leader, essentially.
Cyclops in the comics is way better than Cyclops in any other version you've seen Cyclops. Cyclops is He's a general. Like, imagine Batman, but he shoots giant lasers out of his eyes.
Captain America.
Not Batman in the fact... Well, do you ever play the Justice League game where it's like the future and Lex Luthor's killing everybody and it's like Batman's the general and he's wearing all the armor and he's just like, you go here, you go here. Like, he's literally the dude in charge, the head strategery Napoleon of the crew. And Cyclops is dope. He's not only got one of the coolest powers and the most powerful optic blast there is. Like, he's almost like an Omega level as far as that one weapon. Like, he's got an iron will. In the past, he's turned more like Magneto, where he's gone away from Professor X, and he's taken more the Magneto approach. We gave humanity a chance. I think the number in the comic was they've killed 6 million mutants.
Blah.
Like, imagine that, like numbers related to like mass genocides. Like, you've killed this many of our people, and we keep trying to be your friends and keep trying to work with you. It's over. We're done. We've given you all the chances. We're in charge now. You leave us alone, or it's the end of the human race. And Cyclops is the leader of all of that. I mean, it's awesome. Besides like Magneto and Professor X, Cyclops is like the third in charge.
And what's Apocalypse do?
So Apocalypse isn't...
He doesn't seem like he usually plays nice.
Well, that's the interesting part. It was, I think, issue 4, the end of that, where you really see where things are going, and they're really building the island. You're like, this might actually work. Then Apocalypse shows up, and Professor X and Magneto are like, yo, this is what we're doing. You're either with us or against us, and we need to know now before you come to Krakoa. We're not going to let you come unless you agree to our terms. And Apocalypse is like, yo, I really like what you're doing here. This is the best thing you've ever done. I'm tired of fighting. This is what we need to do. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of fighting. I'm with you. So as of now, the way that this 6 issues ended, all the mutants are friends. Everything's good. There's not even a hint of deceptiveness. There's not like somebody says something, then a shifty-eyed Magneto's like, ooh. Like, no, everybody seems to be on board. Like, it's exciting because it really is them versus the humans, like us versus them mentality. And they finally all seem like they're working together instead of battling each other, where the humans are also battling both of them. They're just, all right, it's us versus them. So I'm sure that'll change. Things don't last, and it's not all neat and tidy forever, but it's a really new and inventive way of telling the mutant story without having to give a lot of exposition. We already know who these characters are. You don't need to tell me about Weapon X. You don't need to tell me about how Beast turned blue. Like, we know this stuff. I don't need the exposition. Just to give me the characterization. Like, it's like when they retell the Spider-Man origin every time, or they retell Batman's parents dying every time. It's like, come on, we get it. Just move past it. We're not idiots. It's like they just jump right into it, and you figure it out along the way. And they're not treating you like children and just telling you everything. It's your job to look past the dialogue and see what the character's interaction is more about, rather than what they're saying, how they treat each other. Moira McTaggart's in it. They made Moira McTaggart a mutant.
She was in the movie too, right?
Yeah, so she's always been just Professor X or Xavier's friend. She does a lot of research on mutants. Yeah,
friend or Boothang?
Yeah. And then she does like mutant genetic research, and she's always like on the side of good, and she's been in a couple versions of the movies. And this one, it's so dope because her mutant power is reincarnation, but she only has like 10 times she can get reincarnated.
So
but every time she dies, every time she dies, she goes back. Obviously, is born again, different set of parents, different situation, but she has all the memories from her past life.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So every time she just builds upon her knowledge, and it's like. So all the different versions of X-Men you've seen in the cartoons, different comic book sagas, whatever, they all existed in different universes where she's been alive. So there's one part where she grows up, meets Professor Xavier in college, works with the X-Men to fight Apocalypse, dies. All right, I'm going to try it again. Grows up, meets Professor Xavier in college, this time stays away from him, goes straight to Magneto, that doesn't work either, dies. all right, this time let's see if they can work together. I'm going to help the X-Men. I'm going to try to get Magneto and them together, and we're going to go against humanity. Doesn't work, dies. All right, this time I'm going to go straight to the humans, show them the mutants can be great. Up, Brotherhood of Evil comes, Mystique kills her, dead.
So
she tries to fix the problem she's know that's coming. Humans killing mutants, humans exterminating mutants, and she does it by siding herself with the X-Men, siding herself with Apocalypse, siding herself with the Brotherhood of Mutants, Magneto's crew, siding herself with the humans, trying to stay with it all together. Every single time she ends up dying, and the world is for mutants ends. So this is like her last life. And she's
I was going to say, how many lives does she have?
She's taken all the knowledge from all her past failures and successes and has gotten this far, and it seems like it's finally worked out. And yeah, it's pretty.
Well, what's crazy is that
good.
she seems like super smart. Not a lot of people die in comic books. She's died 9 times.
Yeah. But she puts herself in the craziest situations.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's just what she knows. She knows the future, and she's trying to stop the future from happening. So she just throws herself in these situations. She does it. I mean, she always grows up. She's always a kid. She always has to go through school. She's sitting in high school just like, oh my God, I did this 7 times already. Like,
that would be annoying.
The time doesn't go
take
faster.
Her GED?
But
the time
doesn't seem
speed up.
that
She still
smart.
has to lead the life. She has to talk to her parents and go through all the BS, watch the same TV shows, and just like banging her head against the wall. Then finally gets to college, meets Professor X, and they can kind of like go wherever she wants to from there.
when you first said that, I thought she would like, all right, let's say she was born in, I don't know, the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dies in 90s. Then I thought she was going to be born again in the 90s and then go from there.
Oh,
different
right.
timeline.
I didn't know she was going to keep being born in the 60s every time.
So it's so she's born here in Earth 1 and then Earth 2, then Earth 3. It's like different multiverses where the same things happen. I mean, she does this now and it sets this domino effect in motion. But as long as she doesn't screw anything up when she's a kid and just lets things go, it always goes the same way.
Okay.
Until she makes a decision in her 20s to where she wants to go when she's out of the house, out of her parents' control, and just like, all right, this is my chance this time. I'm gonna go this way and do it this way, and it always backfires. Someone always screws up and she dies.
Dang.
It's interesting because you see Moira McTaggart and your first interaction is like her sitting next to Professor Xavier, and he's like, she says something, he's like, oh, do I know you? And she's like, yeah, you know me. And he goes like this, so you can tell he's reading her mind. And then there's no dialogue. It's just like, he's like this, and then you look at her, and then he's like, and then the book's over, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? Like, and then you find out all the reincarnation stuff. So it's a lot of like it's only 6 issues, but like the first 2 are great, but you're kind of like you don't see where it's going. And you're like, why are we spending so much time with Moira McTaggart? And then it comes together and like, oh, everything pays off. Everything was for a reason. There's no wasted anything. Like,
so there's only 6 issues out currently?
This is
or it's 6
So they did House of X, which is a 6-issue series, and that's present day mutants, House of X. Then they did Powers of X at the same time. So this book would come out every other week. Powers of X would come out every other week on different weeks. Powers of X is just like Powers of Math, where it takes place to the power of 10, or take place power of 1, 10 years in the future, 100 years in the future, and 1,000 years in the future. And you see all these crazy things. You see different versions of mutants. You see the future for mutant and human battling, and you see now everyone's like a cyborg and just these crazy futures. I haven't read all of those.
So the run with the Sovereign Country. Sovereign Country.
Yeah, Krakoa.
What book are you on right now? Or what? How many have come out?
I read 1 of 6, and the 6th one just came out Wednesday, and it's over. That's it.
It's all over.
Yeah,
So you're only 1 in.
No, I read all of them.
Okay.
I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So it ended with Apocalypse showing up and being this is.
No, that was the end of maybe issue 5. It ends. Okay, here's the list. Of all the books that are connected, the red ones are the biggest events. And this is the chronological order. not in which it happens in time, and the information you need to grasp in the publication.
So there's still one more coming out.
The Powers of X. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't really know what's happening with that. But the House of X ends with Professor Xavier talking to the entire human race at the same time, telepathically talking to them, giving them the ultimatum: we will give you these cures for Alzheimer's, cancer, AIDS, whatever. You just leave us alone on our island. And it kind of just leaves it at that. I told them what we're doing. They're going to agree to it. You assume that humanity agrees to it. They have no choice. And then all the mutants end up being happy, and it's like, oh, finally, we figured this out. Figured this shit out. So here's the end of 5 of 6. So this is where Apocalypse joins them. And then 6 of 6 is them finally putting their plan into motion.
So I think we spoke last night. You said they wanted to be their own country.
Yeah, their own nation, continent, whatever, yeah.
Imagine the Olympics.
Yeah.
They would dominate.
Yeah, they could just have like third tier mutants.
It would be like
gold, 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 gold.
It would be like if nobody ever caught Russia with all the steroids.
Yeah.
Senior Stache, while you're here, who's your favorite X-Men?
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Very envious. I would love to do that.
This is a great Nightcrawler book. Well,
just pop up anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler and Wolverine have an awesome scene at the end of book 4, and it appears that they sacrificed themselves to kill the Master Mold. Like, they know what they're doing. It's a suicide mission, but spoiler alert, they don't die. Or they do die, but they come back.
You told us you weren't going to tell us. Like,
spoiler alert.
10 minutes ago, you're like, I'm not going to tell you. 10 minutes later, all right, I'll tell you.
Spoiler alert.
Are we going around the room? Who's your favorite?
Oh, mine. I've always had a soft spot for Colossus, but that was back in the day. I mean, the Deadpool one that was fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And obviously, everybody likes Wolverine, but
the Deadpool Colossus was the best Colossus of all the movies, I think.
I'm talking about like cartoon series, comics, back in the day, the trading cards and all that stuff. Did like Nightcrawler, but yeah, I mean, I'd probably go Colossus, just a little nostalgia.
What's Colossus' real name?
Petrov.
Of course, Peter.
I think it's Russian. It's Petrov.
Peter Rasputin.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up for the episode of Beard and Bun. This is, I don't know what order this is going to go up in. It might be 4, it might be like 7 or 8. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we will get it up there if you made it this long. Thank you for listening to the Beard and the Bun featuring the Stache. We'll tell you all about New York Comic Con on the next episode.
Go to hell.
Adios.